welcome to a special edition of Akau TV. We've got a mammoth amount of runners this week to cover off. We're joined this morning by assistant trainer Sam Burgesson and racing manager Reese Trumper. How are you today, fellas?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Hazy.
Yeah, good.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Hazy.
Good day for you, Reese. Yesterday, the 21st birthday. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. I just had a quiet time with my family. It's a busy time of the year for us, so we'll have a few drinks with mates when we're not so busy.
Fantastic. Well, a big happy birthday from all of us here, or from me personally as well. So good on you, mate. Well, we better get cracking along because we've got a lot to cover off here today. I guess just quickly, last week there were 3 winners there at Riccarton. Sam, obviously you touted Rhetorical there as your best bet, who got home alongside Cognito in the Guineas trial, and Belle of the Ball extended her winning run to 3 in a row.
Yeah, they were all great winners, aided by very good rides from Joe and Jason, and definitely horses you can follow going forward into Cup Week.
Fantastic, absolutely. And then I guess the other news from last week was obviously the Hawke's Bay races getting called off there on Saturday. So those key races, the Hawke's Bay Guineas and the Arrowfield Stud Plate, of course, moved across to Matamata today. And of course, Imperator, she stayed in New Zealand after galloping there at Te Rapa on Friday. And she obviously renominated there for the Arrowfield Stud Plate on Saturday, which has kind of been a bit of a blessing because it looks like Ramwick is going to be close to a washout there tomorrow as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's ideal for her. That race on Saturday could have been worse than the Hawke's Bay track. So, very lucky, and she's going very well.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we've got both of you guys here because we're going to try to split these runners up a little bit. We're going to kick off there at Timaru today. We've got 2 runners there in the first race. That is race 4, the John Snow and Echoes of Heaven at Clearview Park, stud 1200. It's a rating 75 benchmark. The first of which is Ari, drawn barrier 2 with Samantha Winner board. Yeah,
she was meant to run last Saturday, but unfortunately got kicked. So we had to have a couple of quiet days with her and treat her for that. But from all reports, she's bounced back well, going well, and she's got great soft track form. Looks a bit like a small field. Looks very winnable.
And Irish Red's going to enjoy the 3 kilo claim there, drawn barrier 3.
Yeah, she was a bit average last time. Maybe the second up syndrome, not really sure, but she drops back to midweek, and like you say, the lightweight, so she should be very competitive.
Right, and across to Hawera on Saturday, we're going to kick off there in race 1, the Mitre 10. Oh, whoops, we got the wrong one there. Sorry, in race number 1 still, the Jide Design Cabinet Makers Maiden. It's a 1,600 metre race with prismatic drawn barrier 4. Over to you, Reese.
Yeah, look, he's running well his whole career, and getting up to a mile will suit him. He's very well placed in that race, and I see him being right in the finish.
And race 2, the Egmont Tyres 3-year-old, set weight and penalties. Last start, Gold Trail Stakes place getter Sans Doute, drawn barrier 6 with Lisa Allpress on board.
Yeah, she's a filly that hasn't had much luck in both her career starts to date. She's obviously been beaten by probably the smartest 2-year-old filly in the country both times. I think we've made the right call to send her to Hara over 1,200, although there is still a good filly of Fraser Reitz in there. I think she's very well placed in that, and Lisa Allpress engaged to ride will only help her.
Great. Race 4, the TAB Express payout now here, 1,400, rating 75 benchmark. Shepherd's Delight, drawn barrier 7 with Lisa Allpress on board.
Yeah, she's a really nice mare. She obviously ran second in the 1,000 Guineas, beating Imperator's home, so that form must stack up well for her, and travelling down there will only help her as well. It's not as strong as opposition as it would be in the north. She ran really well in a very good 75 1,200 at Ruakaka first up, and there'll be plenty of form come out of that race, so I think we've made the right call sending her to there too.
Great, and we'll keep you along there at Matamata in race 1, the Mitre 10 Matamata 1,400. It's a maiden race, the first of which is Espionage, drawn barrier 16 with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, obviously a very awkward gate for him, so we'll have to ride him back from there. But look, he's been consistent through his maiden races in his career so far, so there's no reason why he will not run well again.
Aspirator is drawn 21 there with Vinnie Colgan on board.
Yeah, he's obviously drawn terrible as well, but he'll get back from that gate, and hopefully they don't kick off the top with the rail being in early on in the day. He'll run top 4 if he gets a nice run.
If you're ample, John Barrier 7, Ryan Elliott.
Yeah, she'll race on speed from that gate. It'll probably be the place to be early on with the rail being in the true position. I see her finding a good kick at the top of the straight, and she might be hard to run down.
Elonda is OP Boston's pick, John Barrier 8.
Yeah, well, she's obviously a really good mare. She ran really well first up, and she'll get on speed again. And with OP on her, she has to be right on the finish.
Patriarcha, John Barrier 5 with Joe Cameron on board.
Has raced well both starts this of her whole career, and there's no reason why she can't run well again. And Joe gets on really well with her.
Sternland, John Barrier 14 with Kelsey Hannon on board.
Yeah, 1400 is probably just a bit short for her at the moment, but with not really many suitable races around for her, we have to run here. Kelsey Hannon's riding really well, and her work's been good. She'll definitely be one of the first 4s.
Trieste, John Barrier 12 with Sam Spratt on board.
The visor blinkers go on, so that should help the horse coming back in trip. Obviously, she just got tripped up by the wet track last time. Getting onto a better surface, which we'll get at Matamata on Saturday, will help her. And there's no reason why she can't get back to her form as a 3-year-old.
Cool. No jockeys listed for the next 2. Are they going to take place? That's Faye Carnett and She's Outrageous.
Yeah, look, we'll just have a wait and see in the morning for what jockeys are available. We've got a bit of time there to decide that. Faye Carnett's obviously really ran well first up, running home well. Her pedigree suggests that getting up to 1400 will only help her some more. So there's no reason why she can't be in the finish either.
Great. And She's Outrageous.
She's obviously drawn terrible on the outside, but she's from a staying type of family, so we'll get her back from that gate and let her run home the last little bit.
Saver Fire, John Barrier 20 with Michael McNabb on board.
Yeah, he ran really well on debut, and getting up to 1400 as well will help him. He's obviously a full brother to Milford, who runs second in the Derby, and that's what the plan is with this horse, hopefully. So he'll be running on well again, and the further he goes, the better he'll be.
Nice. And Romancing the Moon has a nice form line there. John Barrier 3 with Craig Girls on board.
Yeah, she's a really good mare as well. The blinkers go on, which will help her. She's drawn a nice gate, and Craig Grills gets on with her really well, and there's no reason why she won't be in the finish.
Fantastic. Well done there. That's probably the most we've ever done in one race. Race 2, the Fairview Motors Matamata 1400, rating 65 benchmark. We've got Hero Worship, John Barrier 15 with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, obviously the wet track just tripped them up at Tauranga the other day. I think getting back onto a better track and a track that he likes at Matamata, he can bounce back to his best. And Jason Laking will ride the horse, and he should do the job well for us.
Cool. I'm Not Bossy, John Barrier 8 with OP Boston on board.
Yeah, obviously 1400 fresh up's probably not the idealist thing, but with OP on, obviously we'll balance that out a bit. She's certainly one to watch for the future of the season, but whether 1400 is a bit far first up, we'll have to wait and see.
Right. Baronet, John Barrier 5 with Craig Girls on board.
Yeah, he really impressed us on debut. And Craig Grills sticks with the horse, which is a big help. His work at home has been really good, so I'd expect another good performance from him.
Great. And Bubbles Await was good there, winning last start. John Barrier 11 with Michael McNabb on board.
Yeah, he was really good. He's obviously drawn a bit of a sticky gate, but Michael was quite keen to stick with the horse, which we're really happy about. He'll probably get the same type of run in transit that he got last time, and with that, he'd have to rate his chance again.
Great. And race number 3, the Manco Environmental 1400, rating 65 benchmark. We've got Boomer, John Barrier 2 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, Joe gets on really well with Boomer, and 1400 should suit him fresh up. He's probably going to be a horse to watch go into the season, but there's no reason why he can't show some cheek on Saturday.
Great. And Wild Knight, John Barrier 14 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's looking really well, and he's working terrific as well. Opie sticks with him, and he ran really well last time to win. I think the better track will suit him more. So there's no reason why he won't figure in the finish either.
And I believe Xantabulous comes out.
yes, she will not run on Saturday.
Race 4, the Colchester Engineering Limited 1200. We've got Challa drawn barrier 6 with Kelsey Hannon on board.
Yeah, Challa's very well placed in this race. Obviously, with a rating of 79 and Kelsey Hannon's 3 kgs off will help him. It was a dominant win first up, and his work's been super since, so we expect him to run well again.
Quattro Quinta drawn barrier 15 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, we just couldn't work out his first up run at Taupo. Although he didn't go that well first up last preparation either. So, then he came out and won second up. So we're hoping that he's just a second up horse. So it wouldn't surprise me if he bounces back on Saturday.
Great. Another one second up who had a good season last year, Cote de Burn, drawn barrier 11 with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, everything obviously went wrong first up with him. He got back and pulled hard. Taupo is not the best type of track for doing that. I think getting back onto his home track where he knows where he is, he'll relax more. And yeah, there's no reason why he can't bounce back to his best.
Outfit drawn barrier 18 there with Opie Boston on board.
Blinkers go on her, which will be a big help. And Opie obviously is a massive help as well as his choice. She's run well both times this preparation, so there's no reason why she cannot run well again.
Fashion Shoot, another impressive last start winner, drawn barrier 14 with Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, she was dominant last time. It's an awkward alley again, but Craig Grills is obviously one of the best in the country, and he'll work that out. And there's no reason why she can't be right in the finish either.
2 there on the ballot, Millie Fiore, and she's a show-off.
Yeah, obviously they're both probably going to be doubtful starters, but there's no reason why they both can't run well.
Great. Race 5, the Co-Mag Limited 1400, 3-year-old set weight and penalties. It's quite a nice race with some good form lines here. One the stable has a high opinion of there. Stella Splendida, drawn barrier 1 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, noseband and tongue tie goes on just to sort of combat her over racing a bit. She's sort of 3.5 weeks up to 1400, which is probably the only query. But look, we've got a really high opinion of her. We think she can go further. It's a sharp, competitive little race, but look, we'd be surprised if she wasn't in the finish.
Great. And race 6, the Group 2 AHD Hawke's Bay Guineas for 3-year-olds with set weight conditions over the 1400 metres. We've got Dynastic, drawn barrier 10 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's going really well. We think he's improved since his win in the Aotearoa. Just the awkward alley, but from the 1400, Opie should have plenty of time to sort of slot in somewhere. Again, there's some pretty sharp gallopers in this, but he'll be very competitive.
And Accidental Tourist, drawn barrier 6 with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, he's probably one that wouldn't have minded running last week. We think he really loves the wet. But the blinkers and the tongue tie go on, and his work since has been super. He's sort of gone through with Dynastic the whole way, and he's been matching motors with him. So look, he could be a sneaky.
Great. Race 7, the listed Team Whelan's Matamata Cup. It's an open handicap over the mile. We've got Marcus Aurelius, drawn barrier 13 with Michael McNabb on board. He'll be looking to try and regain his form. Yeah,
sort of a good first up run followed by 2 real shockers on very wet ground. Look, it's a beautiful day here today. The track's a soft 7, so he should get dry ground. So expect a much better performance from him. He's not the worst.
And Perfect Scenario, drawn barrier 2 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's on the quick backup, but he's going very well. He's just a good, honest horse with a good gait and Opie on, so look, he should be competitive.
And I thought Bell on Rouge was good last start, making ground out wide there at Ruakaka, which is never easy to do. Drawn barrier 12, carries a lightweight with 53 kilos and possibly looks to back up next week in the Lever Mile.
Yep, that's the plan. Like you said, it was a great run at Ruakaka. Obviously short of her best, so up to the mile suits. Grillsy rode her on Tuesday and was really pleased with her work, and she gets in really well with the lightweight. I like her, really like her placing in this race.
And race 8, the Ancroft Developments, 1600 metres, rating 75 benchmark. We've got Supreme Khan, drawn barrier 1 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's just got pipped at Te Rapa. I think he went down a nose. He's got really good soft track form. I think it's 5 starts for 2 wins and 3 placings, something like that. He's the only real query is probably up to a mile, but he's drawn 1, so he should get a soft run in transit, I should say. And Opie on always helps.
And La Flora Bell, drawn barrier 13 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, she's going well. She just keeps missing the kick, which is a bit frustrating. Hence, the blinkers go off and the visor blinkers go on. So that should hopefully help her get out of the gates, and she should be more prominent in running.
And race 9, the Group 1 Arrowfield Stud Plate, underweight for age conditions over a mile. Quite an interesting race here, as a number of these runners will be backing up next week in the Lever Mile, of which I understand Predefer could be taking his place in that race, drawn barrier 6, with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, obviously a tough effort last time, 3 wide and stuck on for second, just went down. Senior jockey back on. Jason does a fantastic job for us, and I'm sure he will again. It's a Group 1, obviously, and there's some extremely good gallopers, but there's no reason why he can't go a good race. He rarely goes a bad one. And yeah, he could definitely give some cheat.
And Imperator is drawn barrier 3 with OP Boston on board. I understand he was pretty happy with her work there last Friday.
Yep, very happy with the exhibition gallop at Tarapa. Obviously, it's not ideal going 4 weeks up to a mile, but we think she's ready. Opie got a fur on Tuesday and said she's ready to fire. And that run at Hawke's Bay was on really testing ground, so it did take a bit out of her. So probably the 4 weeks isn't a bad thing. Look, there's some great gallopers in here, like I said, but they'll know she's there.
Great. And race 10, the Russell and Yvonne Green Memorial 2,000 metres. It's an open handicap. Another horse that could find some form moving up in distance there, leaderboard, drawn barrier 6 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's coming off 2 pretty ordinary first up runs. But he looks well, so he may surprise.
Great. And race 12, the TAB Express payout now here, 2,000 metres, rating 65 benchmark. We've got the one runner there, Fierce Flight, drawn barrier 15 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's coming off a very disappointing run at Taupo. We thought he was a really nice chance there. But Michael McNabbs thought maybe the tight turning track and sort of the shifty ground might have undone him. He should get better ground tomorrow. Sort of a sticky alley, but he's bouncing around the stables, so like he could be competitive.
Great. Well, that's a good effort. That wraps up our runners across the today and obviously tomorrow. Now, best bet, Sam is currently 6 from 6, unbeaten. Can you go one better?
Oh, geez. Look, there's plenty to choose from, so I hope I can. I'm going to stick with Stella Splendida. She didn't let me down last time, so I'm going to go her again.
And Mr. Trumper, you need to get off the mark here. What have you got for us?
I believe Prismatic will be very hard to beat at Hawera in the first race.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Prismatic and Stella Splendida will hopefully get your day off to a good start there at Matamata and Hawera. Next week, obviously, we're down there in Hawke's Bay for the Lever Mile and I think the Barneswood Farms there at Ashburn. Will we have any fillies lining up in that Barneswood Farm, Sam?
Yep, One Kiss and I Choose You. They'll be there. They're actually having an exhibition gallop today as well. We forgot to mention that, but yeah, they should be on song.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. Thanks for your time, guys, and good luck tomorrow. We'll catch you again next week.
Awesome. Cheers, Hazy.
Thanks.